Well, okay, everybody. It's what time is it? It is 7:11 here on September 14th, 2021. I'd like to start our meeting here, our Penn Branch Community Association meeting. Let's see. Just a quick note. We have for our newsletter this month, we were a little challenged. We have two errors were in there. One was I see Janata there. What's up, Janata? I can't hear you. Anyway, one was.
Hi, Stan. Sorry.
Hello. No problem. And that's Miss Alberta Paul calling me in the middle of this.
I'm turning Alberta.
Hang on, you back on track. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah. So for our newsletter, we have two errors. One was the list of donors that we put in there. It was an old list, not the most recent list. So yeah, if you donated, we will get you next month for sure. And I'm sorry for the omission. And the second error was the link for this meeting, which I don't know, you guys wouldn't know about, you weren't here. But anyway, okay. First up is going to be Kyle to read the minutes for our last meeting, which was that, June. And Kyle, you're set.
That's right, Stan. Last meeting was in June, and let me pull up those minutes. All right. So June 8th, we met. First heard the crime and public safety report from Officer Marable, who indicated that there were 25 crimes that month in Police Service Area 605, 2 within Penn Branch in the previous 30 days. We had a discussion about fireworks and were directed to report any illegal fireworks to MPD. Residents also asked about speeding on Pennsylvania Avenue, and Officer Marable mentioned that racing and speeding is a problem across the city and that officers are not chase. He said that MPD is considering more speed cameras in the area that will be movable since current locations are well known. On to some other announcements, and our communications director, Paul Grant, reminded residents about the ongoing Penn Branch Oral History Project that he is leading. He also announced our t-shirt fundraiser at that time. Then went on to a 9/11 Memorial Park update. Joan McKenzie announced the fundraiser to replace the bench and to have it installed in the park. Miss Paul said things are moving forward in terms of getting power supplied to the park as well. We had 2 guest speakers, both from our ANC commissioners, Sydney Smith-Nash and DL Humphrey. Commissioner Nash said that as part of home rule, the ANCs were created to serve as mini councils to advise the district government, that ANCs cannot make or pass laws and that they are unpaid positions. But the role of the ANC is to be a voice for the neighborhood and advising the government, and they're significant for neighborhoods to make sure that they're represented with government. Also, DC government agencies are required to give considerable weight to ANC decisions, especially on zoning issues. Commissioner Humphrey noted that the duties of the ANC include planning, education, health, safety, and sanitation, that they can employ staff, and that their powers and duties are provided by acts of the council. He also noted that the ANC should be a key first avenue when there's a situation that impacts the neighborhood, and that he gave an example of speeding on his street, requesting a traffic calming study and asking DDOT to add speed bumps as an example of how the ANC can mobilize for a community. There was some general question and response period between residents and the commissioners, and we concluded that. And then our past president, Jacqueline Cannon, asked the board about upcoming PBCA elections and reminded the board to keep that in mind as we head into the summer. So that concludes the summary of our meeting minutes from June 8th of 2021. Is there a motion to accept the minutes as read?
I move that the minutes be accepted as read. This is Rosemary.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Yeah, I second that, Kyle.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed, say nay. Hearing none, the minutes are accepted as read. Stan, back to you.
Sweet. Thank you. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah. Marie would have read the minutes today, but she's feeling a little under the weather today. That's why she's not here. Oh God. I'm sorry, folks. Hang on. I'm getting calls, and they come over to my my computer, and then they knock me out. Okay. Let's see. What's up? And so next up, Officer Maribel said he'd be here in about 5 minutes time. So next up, I'll do the minutes. So in June 1st, we had $3,286.99. Over the summer, we brought in $3,067.71 in donations and grants. Yeah, that's huge. That's a big thanks to Joan for kicking off that whole park grant making deal. So appreciate that. The money that went out, that was $242.33 for GoDaddy. That's our website and email. And we paid $937 for the bench, which is on its way. Should be here next month. And we paid $92.78 for fog. That's what I have written here. I'll think of what that's for in a second. Flag. That says flag. I'm sorry. That was my handwriting. Yeah, Joan got us a new DC flag, and she raised it. So if you haven't noticed it, it's in the park, 911 park.
Stan,
all right, cool.
Stan, also I want to do a shout out to Paul for that fabulous T-shirt campaign that raised a whole lot of money as well. That was great. Excellent.
It was an amazing campaign. Yeah, the best part about it was so easy. It was like the company that was the ordering and the shirts and the delivering, and they just sent us a check after everything was said and done. I think it was like $730, $780, something like that. So that's huge. Yeah. So thank you, Paul.
And I also want to do a shout out to Mrs. Paul, who worked her contacts, and she managed to get a lot of her neighbors and contacts to contribute as well. So yeah, it was really a combined effort of a lot of people.
Thank you for that. Yeah, she's done good. Yeah, she did a great job. Seriously. Yeah. So thank you for that, Joan. All right. Let's see. So the money that went out, that was $1,272.11. And so that leaves us on August 31st with $5,082.59. All right. So I'm sorry, I didn't write this down. I have a motion to accept the minutes. Sure, I didn't say it right.
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
The minutes of what, June? I think it was June or something. Yeah, I made a
it was from June.
From June. Yep.
That's the treasury report.
Yes,
not
Stan,
the
we
minutes.
already did the minutes.
Oh,
The
okay. I'm
treasury
sorry.
report.
I'm sorry. My mistake. I make a motion to accept the treasurer's report from June.
I second that motion again.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. Appreciate that, everybody. Hey, I see Officer Maribel's in the room. So hey, Officer Maribel, how you doing?
How you doing?
Doing well, sir.
Oh,
All right.
yes.
Yeah. You have the floor, sir.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Officer Maribel, before you start, yeah, for our national night out, I want to say thank you much. It was so nice seeing you, seeing Lieutenant. I want to say. Start with a Hackerman, yes.
Yeah.
And the lieutenant and the inspector. It was great.
Yeah.
Not only did you guys show up, but you stayed like over an hour, like an hour and a half, just talking to the residents. So that was great.
I was wishing we could do this meeting outside.
Yeah.
Have another outdoor before the weather get bad.
Yeah, no doubt. Wish I was outside right now too. All right, go right ahead, sir.
Okay. Over the last 30 days, we had a total of 23 crimes. We had one homicide, but that was on the other side over there off of Ridge Road and like G Street area, which is on the other side of the park from you all. We had 0 sex abuse cases. We had 0 assault with dangerous weapon gun cases. We had 6 robbery cases. We had 0 burglary cases. We had 6 theft from autos and 5 thefts and 5 motor vehicle thefts and 0 arson cases, which gave us a total of 26 crimes for the last 30 days. So we are down in motor vehicle thefts. We're only down by 1 because a year ago, the same time frame, we had 6. We're down in thefts. We had a year ago 7. Now we have 5. And we're down in the theft from autos. No, correction, that was even. We had 6 a year ago. We got 6 now. So we're still, right now, let me give you an update. Over the weekend, Mr. Clyburn, we was talking I think it was yesterday, in reference to the how busy it was over the weekend in the community. Police cars going everywhere. You all had sounds of gunshots in the area. So unfortunately, 2 of our officers on the midnight shift crashed up 2 of our cars, which were a total loss. And unfortunately, they hit each other.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. It's very embarrassing. They were driving down Branch Avenue from Pennsylvania Avenue. So as they were going down the hill towards O Street, the police car that was in the right-hand lane, he was a little ahead of the other car, police car. He decided to make a U-turn for some odd reason. He made a U-turn in front of that other police car, and the other police car T-boned. Unfortunately, that was one of our 605 cars. So 6052 is out of commission right now. We only had 2 cars for 605. Now we're down to 1.
Oh man.
So what we're doing to offset that is, we're just taking a car from another section. They're not too happy, but we got to take another car to at least bring over. So we have made those adjustments for the community. Okay. We should see replacements. I would guesstimate in about a month. We should see some replacements. So that should turn out for the community. Right now, the light tower is back up and running. I put it up last night, and it's right in the community. It's in the community, but it's right at the intersection of Highwood Drive and Pope Street, where we had that problem house at. That's very busy on the weekends. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it there for a few days. I would take it back when it needs to be charged. We are fully immobilized. The police department is fully immobilized this weekend. So no one has Friday or Saturday off. The march is Saturday down there at the U.S. Capitol. So we will be minimum staffed on this weekend coming up, Friday and Saturday, because most of our manpower will be downtown coordinating with the U.S. Capitol Police and U.S. Park Police, dealing with that. But we will still be covering your community. So don't worry about that. We will have that under control. What else going on? That's it so far. Any questions so far?
Yes. I know that we should avoid the area on Saturday. Are there any other directions that you can give us to try to keep us safe? With all of this coming to our city this weekend?
I would say be a little more vigilant in the neighborhood this weekend, because even though you all know what's going on downtown, the knuckleheads know also. Okay, and they may figure most of us will be downtown. So if you just be a little more vigilant in the neighborhood. If you see strange vehicles, just give us a call. Riding around in your neighborhood, or you see the knuckleheads walking through the neighborhood that you've never seen before. Give us a call for suspicious persons walking through, so we can at least make sure we have a unit in that area. Okay.
Is there a special number to call?
No, just call 911. Just call 911 and they will place it as a non-emergency. Okay, because we don't have that 311 number is not going to do it for you all. So just make it 911, or you can text it in 50411. You could text it in or just call 911 and they'll place it as a non-emergency. But just to get us in the area and tell us which way they're walking towards. So if they came off of, for example, if they came off of Pennsylvania Avenue and they're coming down Texas Avenue, just let us know what direction, that they're walking.
And what about the clothing they have on? Would that help
Yes.
also?
Give us a full clothing description if you can. If they're wearing
Yes.
all black, just say three young black men wearing all black. And that way we can get in the area and canvas for them, at least keep an eye on them. You know what I mean? We may not even stop them, but we will keep an eye on them. We will probably say hi to them. That'll let them know, I see you, you see us, we're in the area. So if you're up to no good, don't try.
Amen.
Okay, so we will do that.
Okay.
And if you all have any suggestions, don't forget, let Mr. Clyburn know if you have any other suggestions with the light tower, because I'm trying to place it once a week in a different location, but I'm not trying to place it too deep in the neighborhood, because if it's too far back into the neighborhood, the knuckleheads that's on Pennsylvania Avenue, riding up and down Pennsylvania Avenue, they won't see it because it's too far back. So we're trying to keep it near the front, like Carpenter and O, Texas and Pennsylvania, 38th and S, 38th and Pennsylvania, trying to keep it near the front, where as entering the community, they will see it.
Excuse me, Officer Marble, this is Jacqueline. Can you share more about that light tower? Is it the big apparatus with the police insignia at the bottom and the lights at the top? I've seen in the neighborhood?
Yes,
What is the purpose for that? I mean, are you monitoring
that's for a little more high visibility. It's not it's no camera attached, but the officers know they need to patrol the area even more so we can keep an eye on it, because it is very expensive. But it's just for a little more higher visibility, so when the knuckleheads walk through, they'll know we placed it there, because they will see our insignia on it. Now, if they don't know our equipment,
it's not sending any signals back to your precinct or anything. It's just there for police to show a makeshift police presence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I was wondering about that. I saw it in the neighborhood. Well, I've seen it a few days now and didn't know. I saw it was moved though to Pope and Highwood Drive, at the corner of my house. So
okay.
That's kind of deep into the neighborhood though.
That one is only because of that house that's down right behind it on Pope Street.
Okay.
Trying to bring a little more visibility to them and his company.
Okay.
Letting them know, hey, we're around too.
Okay. Thank you.
Is that all for you, Officer Marable?
Yes, sir.
All right, sweet. Hey, hang on, I want to introduce Terry. Terry, I almost called you Stephanie, because that's what's on your screen there. But Terry Clyburn, he's our new crime and safety chairperson. Terry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh man. Okay. Would you want to say a few words about your new position?
No, if anyone has any recommendations, or if I do anything, normally I clear everything through Stan and the leadership, any proposals or mitigation strategies I have, but I am in the middle of doing a vulnerability assessment on the neighborhood to determine what further steps I can recommend to the association or to the leadership, and as well as to Officer Maribel. I've asked for a lot of things through Lieutenant Hackerman and Officer Maribel and the leadership. Some of those mitigation strategies have been, I've informed Stan about. But if anyone has any further recommendations or anything that Stan and them say we can do that you're opposed to, let us know.
All right, sweet. How about, would you like some compliments also? Want to hear those?
What's that?
I say, would you like to hear the compliments as well?
Well, yeah, I mean, sure. If there's something you like, then you could tell us. I'm more interested in the things you don't like. If things are working to keep the neighborhood safe, then I'm doing my job, and that's what I'll do. But again, some of the things that I have planned will require, the neighborhood's consent, or at least the majority of the neighborhood, I would think. But again, I'm here to try my best to keep people safe, and I will go out of my way to do it hopefully without ticking anybody off. That's the goal.
Hi,
So
Terry,
far,
this is
Matthew.
Jacqueline.
Hi.
I'm sorry, Terry, this is Jacqueline. Can you share some of the plans that you have or things that you're thinking about recommending or mitigation strategies for different things you
Sure.
see happening?
Sure. Good evening, Jacqueline. So again, these are all planned and not approved, and nor has MPD approved them at that point, just for official purposes. But some of the things that I'm looking at in terms of the vulnerability assessment, which is something you do to determine what avenues of approach to mitigate, such as street closures. For example, certain hours, certain streets that have been determined to be an ingress route in the dark along 38th, coming off of Pennsylvania Avenue along the wood line, really dark back there. We talked about getting some more illumination along that street. We've also discussed, in principle, only maybe certain hours of trying to get that street closed because it's low traffic between like 2100, between 9 o'clock and 6 a.m. Now people live on S Street and 38th there. So obviously that'll have to be discussed with them. But the problem with that street coming down along that wood line is the residents here don't use that street that late at night, but bad people do. So some of the mitigation strategies are we could close that during certain hours. But again, this has to be approved, and then we have to see if we can get DPW or DDOT to do it. But things like that are the things that are on the right, far right end of the scale in terms of extremes. But we've got to do something to show that we're not a soft target. And street closures are a good, controlled hour street closures are a good way to do that. So that's one of them. The other thing is we talked about getting those cameras on the light towers, similar to the light tower where there's cameras that can record activities. I've discussed that with the leadership. With MPD has not approved it, but we asked for it. Training, we're going down to the left now towards the center of the scale. Training, what to do in a carjacking, doing scenario-based training with the carjacking task force. Come out, show us how to react, show us how to identify threats when you're going to your car, and then how to react. So there's some training I want to do for the neighborhood. So those are kind of some of the things, Jacqueline, that we're looking at. Over.
Okay, very, very good. I'd like to suggest a study to look at the lighting, the pole lighting throughout the neighborhood as well. Like I know some of the lights are the real bright, I guess, LED new lighting, and some the poles have the old dim lights on them. So, I'd like us to consider brightening up the neighborhood with the newer, LED or whatever the brighter lights are.
Yeah, I was talking to Paul Grant about that, and that was his recommendation as well, is to look at that lighting along the wood line on 38th coming into the neighborhood because it's dark. So we'll start looking at that as well.
Well, not just for 38th Street, but throughout the entire neighborhood is what I'm saying.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
I got one thing I'd like to add to that. I think we've had LED lighting put up in various places throughout the community. I think on that area on 38th Street, part of that is National Park Service property. So I think that might be the challenge with that.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Who is that?
That was Alberta Paul.
You know what? I just muted her with a totally by accident. Totally by accident. Seriously, didn't mean to do that at all. So, hey, well, while she gets back, the other, and I see your hand, Commissioner Nass. I see your hand. One of the drawbacks, or the thing that I think about for the LED lighting is the possible cancer risk. Yeah, because yeah, it's the blue and the light. It's known to increase the risk of cancer. Just throwing that out there.
Can I
I
just give?
want to hold you on 1 second, Miss Paul. The reason why I put you on hold, I put you on mute was because you had sound coming through. But I'm gonna let Commissioner Nash go next, please. She had her hand up.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I have a question about something, Officer Marble, you mentioned about reporting suspicious persons or activity. I have a little concern about that because I have a 19-year-old Black male child young man who likes to take walks in the neighborhood. And he has been reported as suspicious just by taking walks in the neighborhood. And the last thing I want to do is to ensnare other young people who are just walking in their own neighborhood with the police. So what exactly, when you say suspicious activity, should someone be looking for as opposed to just seeing a Black male with dreadlocks and decide to call the police?
That's not an easy question, because what may be suspicious to you is not going to be suspicious to others in the community. But most of us been around a while. I'm talking about that live in the community, and you can have a feel for if somebody walking along that wood line, looking around at houses, standing around, that may look suspicious. But like I said, that's not an easy question to answer. But the officers know that there may be someone young that live in the community and everyone won't know them. So they are trained to, in the District of Columbia, trained to not violate no one's rights. And just because it is a suspicious call, to handle it with care, because it may be someone's grandchild or someone visiting. So that's why I said earlier, we may keep an eye on them, engage them and say, hi, how you doing? But when we roll into the block, if they're not doing anything suspicious, we're not going to jump out on them, slam them up against the police car. We'll just do a ride by. Like I said, we may speak to them and just say, how you doing? Everything okay? Yes, we may keep it moving, but they'll know we're in the neighborhood. So we're not, like I said, we're not trying to violate nobody's civil rights or anything like that.
And off the marble too, be considerate that this is a mixed community and it may not necessarily be a Black male. I mean, I see a lot of Caucasians walking through the neighborhood that I've never seen before.
Well, no, that's true. That's true. But based on our last police reports, the ones that's doing all the crime in your community is young Black men. On every police report we had, it's all been young Black men. But yes,
in reference to
young,
this weekend,
yes.
in reference to this weekend coming up, with the people that we hear are planning on coming to this rally this weekend, I wouldn't expect young Black men to be participating in that, not necessarily, but so I think that was the question relative to this weekend and what we should be looking for to protect our neighborhood. So
yeah, yes. And the question is out of a concern of a mother. My child has been stopped many times for just taking a walk in his neighborhood. He likes to walk along the streams. He likes to walk in the parks and in the woods with his friends. And he's been stopped. A neighbor has pulled a gun on him because they said he was suspicious. I mean, and this isn't a kid that many of you do not know. You know my child, but everybody around here doesn't. And so I think we need to stop, villainizing people as they just take walks and as they go about their neighborhood. I agree. I want a safe neighborhood too, but you need to be a little more discriminate about what you consider suspicious behavior. Someone walking through looking at the birds is not suspicious. So that's all I'm saying. Let's not put all the eggs in one basket and just say that if you see a Black male walking through the neighborhood, then call the police. That scares the daylights out of me, to be honest.
Can I answer my question now?
Yes, Ms. Paul. Yes, please, yes.
Okay. And I'll be very quick. Number one, every street in your community, if those who still have the boundary maps look at it, they all have LED lights. What I have observed and asked DDOT to do, and have asked the block captains to follow up with a 311 is a lot of the trees are overgrown on a lot of our streets. If you go up 3500 block of Highwood Drive, it's dark because the trees have actually grown from one side of the street like an umbrella. So a lot of the streets, there are at least 6 streets I have identified, and I will send that list to Mr. Clyburn and the 311 numbers I've put in on his behalf of his committee. The other piece of the LIG on 38th Street, as I had said, and Emil had mentioned, DDOT could not put poles up on the federal side. They would not allow it, but perhaps Mr. Clyburn and establishing relationship on a one-to-one with National Park Service may get a go-ahead to do that. The last thing is I concur with Mrs. Nash, but that's a part of us getting to know one another. And I wanted to suggest that, Mr. President, that you do what you began doing last year, and that was having your block captains we provide them with $50 to do a fall block meet and greet. Something very simple in somebody's backyard where all of them people come on that block, just the people on that block, to meet each other. So we know who is who, because there are a lot of new neighbors. The community has been shifting and growing in the last 5 or 6 years. And Stan knows it better because he has to run around and get the baskets, the welcome baskets that we do. We've got to get out and know our neighbors. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Paul.
Hello, I have a question. I have a reply.
Sure, who is this?
This is Tony Reeves.
Oh, Tony. Hey, Tony, how you doing?
Hey, how's everyone? Yes, in response to Commissioner Nash concern, maybe a suggestion, until the officers and the neighbors know one another, can we wear hats? Can any, black child, young adult, either wear a hat that says Penn Branch or a t-shirt or something that says Penn Branch? That might help to identify, our neighbors until things get better.
What do you think, Terry?
I will tell you, if you're asking me my personal opinion, I don't like the idea of a black kid having to single himself out or anybody wearing something to say they live here. I think Officer Maribel's approach is correct. The officers will respond to a report of a suspicious individual in a way that is indicative of community policing, meaning that person is not guilty upon contact with the police. That person is advised of the police presence. If they're innocent and they live here, that contact will not happen. The police will continue on and maybe say hello. That is giving awareness that the police are in the area, keep giving us safety, but at the same time, it's recognizing that every person walking along the wood line isn't a criminal, which is what I think y'all's concern is. So I think if we balance the approach between community policing and the police are properly trained, as Officer Maribel is guaranteeing us they are, I don't think we're going to have a problem. So I think we're on the right track to do it the way we're doing, as long as the police officers who make contact on a suspicious call conduct community policing in a balanced way, and they do not jump out of their car and accuse anyone of anything. They're simply showing their presence. If the person is innocent, that contact ends harmlessly. I think that's a balanced approach. That's my personal opinion. Thank you.
Thank you,
I'm saying the young adult, but I mean anyone, that could be walking until things get better, maybe have something that identify you as a Penn Branch resident. I mean, so that's just a suggestion.
All right, cool. Thank you, Tony. And this crime thing came to a head mainly because of the recent crimes that we had in the in the neighborhood, and that is carjackings. We had 3 carjackings within the last 2 or 3 months. If y'all didn't know, or if anybody didn't know, we had 2 on Carpenter Street, 1 on the Pennsylvania side, 1 on the other side of Pennsylvania, or excuse me, other side of like Carpenter, and then 1 on 38, up on 38. Yeah, So that's where Terry is here to help out with that, so we can help catch the bad guys. Go ahead, Terry.
No, so Laura has her hand up. I'll let her go and see if there's any. Thank you.
I don't even see that. Oh, we have 2 hands.
I wanted to second the reaction to not having to wear any kind of identifying cap or T-shirt. It's really like a South African or a Southern United States pass law where you have to carry a pass to simply be. So no, that cannot be the answer. Did the neighbor apologize? The one who
No,
called
Tony.
the police?
No, it was just an idea, Tony.
Mhm.
Or
The
excuse me,
neighbor,
Laura.
you're
Excuse
talking
Laura.
about, what neighbor apologized?
The one who's turned in the this call of a suspicious youth.
No, he never apologized.
Mhm. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
Mhm.
Stan, I'll leave it up to you, to the council leadership, to decide. What I'm going to do is continue working with MPD on various mitigation strategies in terms of keeping the community safe. I hear there's some strong feelings, and I'm a black male and I walk the wood line by myself at night. We all understand, the sensitivities and appreciate them. Trust me, I do. I deal with this issue with my real job, and I have to be very careful about targeting certain nationalities because of their ethnicity and things like that. So I'm very sensitive to it. But the police patrols and Officer Maribel have assured me that this type of community policing is going to continue. And when they are called on a suspicious call, that does not mean or is not indicative of a police officer confronting anyone without cause. That should be a patrol coming up to the area where the person was identified, where the activity was identified, and that police patrol making their presence known by a simple, hey, how you doing this evening, or whatever indirect contact. Now, I think that's a fair approach and avoids any type of confrontation with anyone who may be innocent. But that's, again, my personal view on the measures that I'm taking with the MPD. So I'll leave it at that, Stan, and subject to any comments.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, and thanks for all you're doing there, Terry. It is much appreciated. It was pretty cool how you had all the police at the corner. I think it was last week. You had like 5, maybe 10 police officers around, just talking, meeting different neighbors.
Yes, and again, the approach isn't to turn Penn Branch into a police community. The approach is to get MPD, and Officer Maribel and I have discussed this, to get them to do community policing. That means the patrols learn the neighborhood and know the Penn Branch residents so that these things can be avoided in the future. Community policing means the police are out here waving and speaking and saying hello, patrolling the neighborhood in such a way to indicate they are in sync with the community and not on an aggressive route to try to engage suspects. They are here to do community policing. That's why they're standing out there when they need to be out, doing other things. They're here in the community trying to do community policing and get to know the residents. So if you see them out there on a Wednesday and they're all out on the corner, please stop by and say hello, because that's the purpose. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Appreciate that. Thank you, Officer Maribel.
Yes,
Appreciate it. Cool. Any more questions before we move on, or comments? Cool. All right. Hey, next up on the agenda, we did the I think we're down to block captains, and for that, the only thing I have to announce is we are now giving out community hours for students, high school students who need them. So if you have a high school student in need, please let us know. We can more than likely hook them up. All right. Hey, next up, we're going to do our guest speakers. First up will be Letitia Atkins, who's going to speak about art all night. Letitia, how you doing?
Hi, good evening, Stan, and good evening, Penn Branch residents. How are you this evening?
Doing well, thank you.
Great, great. I am Letitia Atkins, the director of the Pennsylvania Avenue East Main Street. And we are excited to share with you that we are participating in Mayor Bowser's annual Art All Night, which is her festival, her annual festival to recognize the district's art community, its contributions to the District of Columbia, as well as recognizing the businesses that support the communities along each main street. So as you know, the Penn Avenue East Main Street, this is our first year in existence. And so this is our first Art All Night event. And if I may, I'll just share with you our flyer, which it was just released today. So we're going to be having 5 sites activated along the Pennsylvania Avenue corridor. And we do hope that you'll come out and join one or join one of the sites or visit all of them if possible. So we'll be starting with in the Fairfax Village Shopping Center, where we'll be having a kid-friendly, family-friendly event, which will feature children and youth activities. That will be at 38th and Pennsylvania Avenue. We'll be having a nighttime pop-up, which will be at the Southside Market. The address is 2510 Pennsylvania Avenue, and that will be from 6 to 10 p.m. We will be at the Shops at Penn branch in the rear parking lot. That is going to be our health and wellness stage. We have partners such as Safeway, who will be doing the COVID-19 vaccinations. We have partners, Blue Rock.
This is normal.
We have Blue Rock, who will be doing some activities for our seasoned citizens, such as the hand dancing with the National Hand Dance Association. And we have an evening workout session, which is sponsored by Planet Fitness. We'll be moving from there to the DC Dream Center. As you'll see, some of these times overlap. So it'll be just dropping in, visiting some of the sites. So we'll be at the DC Dream Center from 7:30 to 10. And that'll be featuring some of our visual artists, some music, again, entertainment, and we'll be closing out at the Highland Theater, which is 2533 Pennsylvania Avenue. And because that site is inside, we're going to go a little longer. As it is Art All Night, we'll be wrapping that up about 2 a.m. For more information, you can definitely visit our website. Again, as you know, the Pennsylvania Avenue East Main Streets is a program out of Marshall Heights Community Development Organization. So visit us on the website, mhcdo.org/artallnight. We are happy to announce that we have been partnering with a number of different promoters and other event organizers. And one of those groups, I believe, is here this evening, Porch Fest DC. So we are excited to be able to kind of partner with those organizations to lean on their expertise for our first year. And again, hopefully bring a lot of family-friendly activities for everyone in the community in a safe, family-oriented, fun environment. So I'm happy to answer any questions. And again, hopefully you will come out, either stop by one location that's near your home, or feel free to join all of the locations along the corridor that evening.
Hey, Letitia, I heard a rumor that the Chuck Brown band might be one of the lineup or one of the acts. Any truth to that? That
is correct. Yes, Porch Fest will be managing actually the Penn branch stage. We know that they are that's their backyard working in the Penn branch community. So we have asked that they kind of manage that stage, and yes, they are. They were able to get the Chuck Brown band to come out. So that stage is going to be a fun stage. So please definitely stop by.
All right, sweet, great, glad to hear. And did you does Vince Gray, Councilmember Gray, does he know that you're doing hand dancing behind Penn branch? That's his thing. I understand.
Well, working for the council member and a former mayor, I am very familiar that I know, very aware that he loves the hand dance. And yes, I reached out to him personally to let him know that the National Hand Dance Association will be actually kicking that stage off, and I hope that he'll be able to stop by.
All right, cool. Thank you. Hey, anybody else have a question for Letitia before she leaves, or before you hand it over to Porch Fest? Okay. All right. Hey, thanks a lot, Letitia. Appreciate it.
Thank you
And
for
that
the
was-
time, Stan.
All right. Cool. Hey, next up
I'm
we
sorry,
have.
Stan. Hello, Stan. This is Jacqueline. I just had one question for Letitia. For those who wanted to volunteer to participate or to work any of the venues, who should they contact for that?
You should actually, there's a volunteer button on our website. So if you visit the website, the mhcdo.org/art-all-night, that'll be the first button you see as you enter the page, and it will send your information directly to our office, and someone will follow up with you.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Will you be giving out community hours as well? For high school students?
Well, of course, if it's going to be a student, we would need parental consent because of the time that the student will be out. But if the parent agrees, we're more than happy to have that student participate with us, and we could give community hours.
Cool. Thank you.
Stan, I have one question. Letitia,
Sure.
you've listed the locations of the events on the flyers, but where can you get information about the activities at each location?
The website.
The website has the individual.
Yes, everything, including the artists, the times that they'll be performing, everything is included on the website, as well as we will be dropping additional flyers specific to each site, which will highlight each place. So because you're in Penn Branch, I know I have about 25 volunteers that will be going door to door to distribute flyers in the next few days. So you probably will receive a flyer which specifies all the Penn Branch as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And one last question, Letitia. Have you finalized the list of activities and apps, if you will, for the event, or are you still open to entertain others?
Let me just say this because I don't want to put them on the spot, but Porch Fest DC, who are actually managing that stage, they can speak to if that site has been, kind of at capacity. And if not, you should be able to reach out to either myself or Simona or Nia in terms of additional activities.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Anything else? Anybody else for Letitia? All right, cool. Well, once again, thank you, Letitia.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right. Now we have Simona and Nia from Porch Fest. How you ladies doing?
Good evening. How is everyone doing? We are well. How are you? Happy Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
So let's see. We just wanted to kind of just share an update in terms of like where we are and things you can kind of look forward to and expect. And certainly afterward, if you have any questions, we'd be more than happy to address them. But as Stan already shared, I am someone with Porch Fest DC. Also joining me is our other co-executive director, Nia. Some of you may have been at the National Night Out. I have Art All Night on my mind, so I accidentally said that, but National Night Out, and we got a chance to meet one another. But we are super excited for Porch Fest. Hopefully everyone is aware that we're at our 3rd annual at this point. We didn't have a festival last year, obviously because of COVID, but this year we are super excited to come back, and you can expect more of the same, right? Just in respect to good music, good vibes, and community kind of throughout the entire day. We're super excited to share. It hasn't gone out publicly, but at least give you some overview of the lineup and give you a good sense of like what the day has in store. The event will still open up the same as in previous years, in that there will be a wellness activation in the morning that will then lead into a kids party. Then the vendor village will open and we will go house to house for that traditional music crawl, where folks will be able to enjoy good music, again, use their chairs, coolers, and mosey on down the route, and that route will be made available to everyone publicly. It will be in print, and also it will be available electronically as a map of sorts where people can go in and kind of see where the houses are. And the same in previous years, there will be yard signs to denote host home. So you will see those and know who's volunteered or which neighbor of yours has volunteered. Just to share, again, high arching details as far as the lineup, we are super excited that we will have, just some returning artists like Bliss violinist, Raja J is coming back. She's a DC resident. We also have bands such as Just Paul and Future Bands, and also DJ T. If you remember the last house that had the DJ who did a blend of house music and every other genre. He'll be back with us. So we're super excited about those that are returning. And we're also just equally excited about those who are new to the stage. I can share the majority are from DC, and we have roughly about 30 artists signed up throughout the day to perform at the houses and also within the vendor village, which we'll go into a little bit more. I'm gonna save that for Nia's kind of update and spiel. But we have really every genre of music reflected, right? House, go-go, rock, acoustic, jazz, R&B, hip hop, oldies. We have a little bit of everything represented. So we are super excited about the lineup. And for the most part, houses won't overlap this year. So again, folks will be able to go from one house to the next to enjoy music. And then the closing house will be Mrs. Clark's house, where we will have the more notable bands perform. And that last house will actually be broadcast so folks can tap in virtually if they are not comfortable with being at the festival. So that's it as far as the lineup. I'm gonna switch it to you, Nia, so you can give an update on vendors and just other program elements that I neglected to share.
Sure, no problem. Hi, everyone. This is Nia Mobley, also the co-executive director of Porch Fest DC. So this year we are doing a very robust vendor village as well as kid area. We've invited the Retro Jumpers who will be there. It's a double Dutch jumping program. We also have a youth rap artist by the name of Fly Zaya. This is, she performed with us when we were virtual last year during COVID, and she's coming back to do some rapping and also double Dutch with the Retro Jumpers for us. We also have Positive Chalk DC, which is a great company that promotes art through chalk drawings on the ground with children, and they have positive messages that they promote the children to draw or write out on the ground. We also have Play Thrive DC, and this will be towards infants to toddlers. It's a DIY instrument station, so the kids will have instruments to play around with. And they will also provide story time for the young kids. Project Create, this is their second year with us, and they're going to set up some arts and crafts for the kids as well. We have also invited a marching band and a face painter and some other vendors as well that we are waiting for confirmation on. As far as the vendor village, we have about 18 food and product vendors who have signed up already. As far as the food, we've been keeping a close eye of not to double up on any type of food selection. So we do have a vegetarian food truck, Soltarian, coming out. We also have AC Sliders. We have a pizza food vendor coming out. We have a gourmet popcorn vendor coming out. So we have some like really exciting vendors. As Simona just mentioned, this year at the vendor village, we're going to also have some talent there, which is new this year. Bliss violinist will be there. We also have a neighbor, a Penn branch neighbor, who will do a pottery demo that I am like super excited about. He's going to bring out his wheel and just throw some pottery. And we also have an historian coming to speak on a mic and give a little bit of history about DC. So this area will be on Texas Avenue, around 38th and Texas. So we plan to have that street completely blocked off from Carpenter to Nash. And this will be a free area for everyone to visit, shop, eat, bring your kids. We've also invited the fire department to come and bring a fire truck. We've requested for an ambulance to come as well, and a police horseman as well, so that the kids can meet and greet those emergency responders and also see the trucks and horses and all of that good stuff. So we are super excited about this year. We have received tremendous support from the community. At this point, we are getting, people are reaching out to us, which is just happy news, to have people reach out to us and provide their services, their expertise, their connections. So we are really looking forward to this year being very successful.
All right, sweet, thank you. And you still looking for volunteers?
Yes, and I'm so glad that
Absolutely.
We are willing to give volunteer credits for high school students. So when you said that earlier, I was like, yes, we need some volunteers. We do have a volunteer coordinator, Michelle, and we can send you over that information, Stan, if you need it, so they can connect with her. We are looking for 40 volunteers. Because of COVID restrictions, we would like more volunteers than normal to kind of just make sure people are wearing their masks and just doing, that proper COVID protocol.
Right. And all the acts, they're all already set. Like every house is already good to go. Or are you looking for more houses, more people to volunteer a house?
We would definitely benefit from an additional house volunteer, just because one of our residents who volunteered is a little bit on the fence in terms of just not sure if they will actually be there that day, in full capacity. So it would be amazing to swap out that person and kind of make them a backup, right? So that would be really cool.
You told her we're not going inside the house, right? Just outside.
Just outside, yeah. Just outside, just the porch, yeah.
They don't really need to be there.
Not really. We do like the residents.
I'm joking.
Just in case, right? You never know what might happen, so you kind of do have to be present for that piece of it all. And not for nothing, we would love to share the volunteer call and also our wish list that we're kind of finalizing to just send out to you, even maybe within your networks, right? Just in terms of those small minor needs in terms of folks who are able to contribute and who want to contribute to help make that day as successful as possible in terms of just family friendly fun. So we'll also like to share that out afterwards.
Please send it on. Yeah, the list. And speaking of family fun, do you know of an artist that does, he mixes nursery rhymes with T-Funk and go-go? You know this guy? No.
Is it a brother with long locks?
It's like 10 years. It was 10 years ago. I can't remember. But it was just a brother, and with his he just had a keyboard and a mic. That's all he had. And he was going to libraries, public libraries, as book readings. So I took my daughter. I was out in the burbs. I lived out in the burbs. I took my daughter to like book readings. And usually it was just some person, little old lady sitting there reading books and imitating birds. We first get to DC, take it to a book reading. The first one was Benning Road. I go there, open the door up, and everything's just thumping. I'm like, what the heck's going on here? So I go inside, and there's his brother. he's putting nursery rhymes and go-go and pee-pong. Everybody was dancing except for the guys at the computer. They were trying to like do their employment or something, whatever they were doing. But everybody was dancing except for them. It was pretty cool.
I'll have to see if we still follow him, or if it may not be the same person, but I'm definitely gonna check.
All right, appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. Because it was fun, a lot of fun.
He would be great for the kids area, it sounds like.
Yeah, exactly. Really, a lot of fun. I use that example all the time when I see a dead party. People say, "Oh, this is so exciting! This is so happening." I said, "Man, I've seen more excitement in the public library." And I'm not exaggerating. I have with that guy. So anyway, any more questions for? Yeah, any more questions for Nia or Simona? Man, everybody's so quiet today. I heard something. Oh, well, okay, ladies. I do appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time to come out.
Absolutely, thank you for having us. And if anyone does have questions afterward, we are super accessible either through the Instagram account or just going directly to porchfestdc.org.
Yeah, totally looking forward to it. It's gonna be a lot of fun, I think.
Thank you.
Stan, I do have a question. Whoa. Hi, this is Wanda. I'm on 34th Street. Could you put your link for the porch event in the chat? Oh, someone just did. Okay.
Paul just
thank you, Paul. Look at you. On point. Thank you.
Okay, never mind.
So we both monitor the Instagram messages. So hit us there if you guys can think of anything after the fact, okay?
Cool. Will do. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
All right. Cool. Terry, I thought you were going to say something. Well, all right. Okay. Let me see what else we got. Hey, is Tony still on the line? Tony. Well, if you are, Tony, I just want to say thank you for helping out at the 9/11 remembrance over the weekend on Saturday. I appreciate your help. You and Carolyn also. Much obliged. All right. Any more? Any other questions or comments before we close out the meeting? And you guys are so quiet today. Well, all right. Okay. At this time, I have to make a motion to adjourn our meeting. Are you guys sure? Yeah. Make a motion to adjourn our meeting. Do I hear a second?
Stan, this is Sophia.
Yes. I couldn't hear you, Cicely. Say again, please.
Oh, I was saying I second the motion.
Cool. Thank you. Okay, at this time. Okay, great. Hey, thank you all. Thank you all for taking the time for. Yes. Okay, you're saying goodbye, Terry. Okay, thank you all for coming to our humble meeting here. I do appreciate it, and I will see you all next month.
Bye, Stan. Bye, all.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Ms. Richards. And bye, Jan.
Bye.
Hey, bye. Bye, Wanda. What you got, Miss Paul? All right, good night. Good night, Ken. Good night, Jacqueline.